Here is our virtual art lesson inspired by Gustav Klimt, our new artist of the month. So we are going to be making this cat with a whole bunch of pattern on it. So if you should have looked at Klimt's work already, and you should have noticed that he puts a lot of pattern in his art. Now, he also does a lot of metallic colors. So if by any chance you have metallic markers, that would be perfect for this project. And you notice that I did a little bit of metallic on my cat. It's like a metallic silver, but I'm going to be doing this one without metallic markers. This project works best if you have markers and colored pencils or crayons. But you can do it with just colored pencils, you can do it with just crayons, but it does work a little better if you can do the pattern in marker and then kind of the rest of the color in either colored pencils or crayons. But you can do, maybe if you just had colored pencils, you could do like the pattern in one color and then that background color a different color, or you could just kind of press darker on the pattern itself and then color the background. So I did already draw my cat out with a pencil like you guys are going to be doing, but remember I use marker when I show you guys so that you can see it, because you probably can't really see my cat here. So the first thing I did is I started with the curve of the head of the cat. It's like you're almost making a circle, but you're not. If you have something that you could trace that's a good size for the head, you can trace something and then just kind of erase that top part so that you can add the cat ears. So then ears are kind of just triangles off to each side. And then I always add an inner triangle so that you have like that cute little pink part of a cat ear. And then you have to finish off the head by connecting that spot in between those two ears. After the head, I move on to kind of this chest area. So I start off with, I bring the curve down so that I can start that part of the cat. And then you have to add in a leg. I kind of did this curvy line. It can go straight down, but it kind of looks a little more like you're actually drawing a cat if you do curvy, because like cats have muscles like we do. Our arms aren't perfectly straight. There's a little bit of a bump to them. So that's kind of what that is. And then that is where you can connect that line for the chest, goes all the way down to where your leg is. And you have to add the foot. Cats have they have 4 legs, but they have 2 in the front. So then we have to add a leg, foot. Then I move on to kind of the back part of the cat. I add a little line for the neck, and then kind of like this curved line in the front. I'm going to do that curved line coming all the way back. And you want that to line up with where your feet are, because then we can add a curve that way. Bring in the foot, and now the other back leg is hidden behind the foot. That's kind of what happens when a cat sits like this. So it's going to look like he only has 3 legs, but the other one's hidden, it's back there. We just don't see it in our picture. And you connect his belly, and there's the body of your cat. Now I did this loop-de-loop swirly tail, but you can do, yours doesn't have to be as curly as mine. You can do a straight up tail, you can do like a zigzag tail. It doesn't have to be like mine. but I just, you know, squiggle on up. I know I say squiggle up a lot, but you know, kind of like candy cane. But squiggling is kind of just a lot of the shapes I make. Curve it in, and then you follow that curve around on the outside. And then you connect them. Now for the cat face, you can do different eyes, you can do different nose, you can do a different mouth. I'm just going to show you how I did mine. So I did the eyes like a football shape. So you have, I always start with both curves at the top. That way I can see if they're about the same size or if I need to erase one and fix it. So I find it easier to do those two top curves before finishing the eye. So then you do your bottom curves, kind of like a smile. And that's the white part of the eye. You still have to do an oval inside the eye so that you have like the eye part. That's what the green is. Now for the nose. Cats have upside down triangle like noses. And then you add a hook to it. Kind of like a J and a backwards J. And 3 lines on each side for some whiskers. And again, you can do yours differently. I'm just doing it how I did mine. Now, this is the part where I used my colorful markers and started on doing some patterns. This one I kind of divided into different sections to do different colors, but this picture I want to stick with a yellow and orange theme. So I'm going to kind of combine my patterns, so it's not you'll see what I mean. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with those colors. I'm gonna move those so that you can see both of mine. Now, I would look at some of the pictures that I put in the PowerPoint of Gustav Klimt's work. That way you can kind of see what types of patterns he did. That's what I did on my patterns on this one, and that was pretty easy to just look and be like, oh, he does polka dots like that. He does triangles. He did kind of this thing that looks like an eye. So look at that to kind of see some ideas. You can look at mine for examples. You can look at Gustav Klimt's art for examples. You can come up with kind of your own patterns. That's fine. But you do need to fill your paper with patterns. So I'm gonna go ahead and do kind of that eye looking design. all my patterns. I am done with markers. Now I do recommend taking a black marker to outline the cat. With all the patterns, it can get kind of crazy if you don't outline the cat. And now is when I'm going to take my colored pencils and color over this. I'm going to color my cat first because this might look better if I don't color the background, just since there's so much pattern. So that's something that I would also recommend, just starting with the cat and then see how it looks. That is a lot better. So I think the colors, the yellow and the orange, kind of really reminds me of Gustav Klimt's work because he used all the gold colors. So here's just a couple different ways to do it. You can do, you know, separating the colors into spots everywhere, or you can kind of combine it with a pattern like I did. Your cat could be different colors. It doesn't have to be one color. You could do rainbow everywhere. You don't have to kind of stick with a color theme like I did. But just really fill all this space with the patterns. Make sure you're happy with it. So like I said, you can color your cat first and see if the background, if it looks good that way, or if you need to add a color to the background as well. But if you do want to leave your background white, it needs to have a whole bunch of patterns. So that's up to you how you do it. Make sure that you are uploading a picture to Google Classroom and let me know if you have trouble with that.